As you can see, the boom is actually attached there at the back, and when we lower it down, it actually lowers down from a cable.
Yep.
And it's called our hoist cable, and that's how we get it into and out of what we call latch position. And it actually hinges right down here. Where you can see is called the clamshell, where it hinges from.
Yep.
And it comes down, and the two wings that are off the tip are called rotavator's.
Okay.
And they're hydraulically controlled air surfaces. So when we are manipulating the boom, we're essentially flying the boom using the control surfaces. And inside there's a longer tube inside that can actually extend out to about 20 feet. Further, and so then we have
Does
that
that work
extension.
as like a shock absorber? Because I'm guessing the
exactly,
planes are doing a bit of this.
Exactly, because our plane and their plane, and they're trying to keep up with us, but not get too far to hit, and trying to stay back far enough. So there is anywhere from about 6 feet in to 20 feet out, they've got that buffer right there. So exactly. And then you also have degrees of, we measure it all in degrees of separation of where they're at left and right and up and down, and it's all measured in degrees with gauges and controls, and you'll see that when we go inside, and I'll show you up inside.
That must be so precise. I mean, how does it plug in to the other plane?
They have what's called a receptacle on the top, and depending on what aircraft they are, is where its different position is on it.
Is there a camera at the end of the beam that you?
No, it's all visual through this window right here. If you want to take a look, I'll show you.
Ask you how you did it.
We have to have good eyes.
We've got smaller windows on either side, right here and right there. And this is actually the main window that we look out of.
Right.
This whole piece, when we open this up, this whole piece goes back, and you'll see the window inside.
So
and it's just looking out the
you got
window.
the pilot flying the plane, and you just try to hold a constant altitude and speed.
You try to keep it as stable as we can for
and
us.
then you're
And
manipulating.
then I'm back here and basically just looking down and out through that window.
Yeah.
And the boom will come down to about 30 degrees from the position that it's at. Right now, when it's stowed, it's past zero. It's about 12.5 degrees up right now. And then when it comes down, it'll be about 30 degrees from this position right here. And so I'm looking down the end of the boom, and you can see when you extend the nozzle is what we call it. You can see when you extend the nozzle, you can see the end of it, and then you have the receptacle. It's just a matter of lining it up and plugging it in.
Wow.
So you can take a look. We can take a look at the end of the boom. You can actually see the nozzle.
It's gonna be weird flying that altitude. Plane right there, so close to.
But I don't know. I always say you have the most beautiful view in the world out of that window. You're basically looking straight down. But as you can see, the nozzle right there is actually what comes. It looks small from there, but it's actually the nozzle itself is actually probably about 2 feet long. And diameter like that. And it has a poppet valve just right there in the end. I guess probably similar to what your gas can use when you
How many gallons per second are you pumping that?
Roughly about, we measure all in pounds. The guys on the ground measure in gallons, but while we're in the air, we measure everything in pounds. And roughly about 6,000 pounds per minute. And depending on what aircraft and depending on how many pumps we're actually using, it's about 6,000 pounds per minute. And then what we equal that out to is when we're refueling a C-17, about 1 minute on the boom is enough fuel to fuel your car for an entire day.